usually the best way to do this is for anybody who's having any sort of problem, anything they're trying to solve, figure out, whatever, just throw it at me and I'll do my best to help you however I can. So Adriana, if you got something, Leonardo, you got something, the revenues, if you got something, Ahmed, if you got something, Griffin, anyone and everyone, I'm all ears.
Let's manage. I need help with like like my DMs. I've been DMing like agencies or like founders and stuff like that, and like yeah, it's pretty much like a low response rate or like it's just a no.
Yeah. What
So
do
I
you?
kind of wanted to see like what helps. What kind of message would they like most likely like? Yeah.
What do you say right now?
I pretty much first off start off with like a compliment. So like whatever work they just recently did that I liked, like I'll compliment them, introduce myself, tell them like I'm a copywriter, and then ask them like if they're looking for any copywriters or have any work that they need help with and stuff like that. Or I go through my experience too.
Are you doing all of that in the first message?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So that is where I would give you my first piece of advice is that if you come in super hard with like, and I feel like we're going to talk about this on every call, which I actually like because I like talking about this kind of stuff. People treat cold DMs the same way they treat cold emails, which is like the point of a good cold email is to get your offer in front of somebody. And if they're interested, they're going to respond. And if they're not, they're going to delete your email and move on with their life. Cold DMs are completely different because the point of social media is to create connections with other people, right? And so if you look at each like outreach platform through what the platform is supposed to be utilized for, what we need to be doing inside of our DMs is creating connections with people. And so if you send this initial message to somebody and you put all this stuff about like, hey, I like your stuff, but also I'm a copywriter and I can do all this stuff for you and help you and whatever else, you might get 1% of people who are actively looking for copywriters right now to respond to that kind of thing. But the vast majority of people are just going to see it in their message request and they're going to go on about their life because they're not ready for that stuff necessarily yet. And so what I would say, and like the way that I did all DMs, because we built for the first like year of our agency, we didn't do any paid ads. It was all just me on Instagram for like 8 hours a day. It's finding those people. It seems like you're already finding them, but like it's just the compliment and like wait for the response. And so then once you get into a conversation with them, once they're willing to respond to the compliment, then you start asking them about like their work or what are they doing? What are you working on? What are you focused on? Then you want to offer some sort of, and this would actually be helpful for you, Adriana, in the last call, it's in the group in the recorded live calls. I like pulled up a bunch of old DMs from like 2021 from 4 different clients that I'd closed through there. And I walked through the whole process. Like it's all the messages. You can see all of them inside of there. So that'd probably be helpful for you. But really the process has got to be much more of get a compliment out there so that they respond, engage them in a conversation, send them some sort of question or value that would be helpful for them and go, hey, have you ever thought about something like this? And then once they, if they're interested in learning more about that, that's when you can kind of soft pitch a call to then be able to go like, hey, let's talk about that. So really the long and short of it is just like, you got to treat social like it is, which is to like create connections and be social as opposed to going super heavy on your offer. They'll skyrocket your reply rate. You're still going to have tons of people who are not interested. And that's the game of outreach. Like that's just what it is. So that's where I would start. But I'd highly recommend that you go back to that last call recording in the group. And like, I think it's probably like 40 minutes in or whatever. If you just skip through there, you'll see a bunch of like DMs that I went through. So I think that would be super helpful for you, if that makes sense.
Okay, thanks. And one other question is, so is it better to like find the founder of like say like a brand or like a brand or like go to like the actual brand's page?
I never had success messaging a brand page. I've only had success because again, if I just think of everything through the lens of connection, right? Like every time I ever responded to a brand page, they thought I was a potential customer and they tried to sell me on their stuff. And so it's like, we want to make sure that we're very clear that we're just trying to connect with someone as a person. And if they happen to be interested in copywriting services, like that's great, right? So I guess Ahmed did not like my answer on that one. That's okay. But that's always kind of been my process.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. For sure. Happy to help. Daniel, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. What about you guys?
Man, chilling, having a good day here in Texas. It's finally not 100 degrees every day, so I'm enjoying it.
To be fair, I am in the UK, so it's already dark out here. So, I joined the group recently. I saw, your message, and I joined the call. Try to see if there's some value in the group.
Yeah, man.
I am also in the e-commerce space. I run in a email agency. If I were to say to you my kind of like my acquisition funnel, I run a cold email campaigns or a cold email campaign sending around 950 emails a day. Then I also have I also do have a YouTube channel. I also do like quite social. I post content on social media as well. And I also intend to start a newsletter because I'm quite getting good results with YouTube. I'm getting some views on there. So I'm trying to get like some sort of like lead magnets. So kind of like a course or something similar to this to drive the traffic to, I don't know, a newsletter and try to kind of like give more as much value as possible to any potential prospects.
Yeah, that makes sense. So where are you finding some sort of bottleneck or things that you're trying to solve right now? What's going well and what's not working as well as maybe you would hope?
So I have a tough situation right now in terms of I have a prospect which asked me for is essentially an ads agency and he's working in the e-commerce space same as me, and he said, listen, it's kind of like a partnership, right? So he offered me, he said he has some clients that wanted to start emails, right? And he told me, listen, can you help my clients out? And I told them, right. And I gave them my offers. I have two offers. I have an intro offer and a main offer. My intro offer is priced at 1K and is essentially a month of service, providing just one, kind of like just a welcome flow, just an email welcome flow. And my retainer, which is a 3 months, I priced that at 2.5 and it just said 3 months. I gave them the offer, all the information that they need, and then they came back to me. The brand came back to me and said that the pricing structure wasn't working for them. So my thought was whether I didn't convince them enough to sign for them, because they're still thinking about it. It's not a no. They're just thinking about it. I was also thinking about whether my guarantee wasn't also strong enough to lower the risk on their end, because how my guarantee works is essentially I promise them a 50% increase in the sales, and if I don't achieve that, they have a full refund. So I think this is where they actually kind of like get problem with. I'm just trying to work out a different way for my guarantee, because I saw that so many people try to argue about they don't trust me enough.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And so let me ask you this: the people that came back and said like the pricing doesn't work, are you saying that's the agency that came to you that wants to partner, or that's like a brand that you're talking to, like a potential client type thing?
So basically, I have this agency, right, and he's managing his clients, okay?
Yeah.
And he tried to ask me if I could manage the client's email systems for them.
Sure. And that client who the agency
exactly.
has.
So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So did you get to pitch that client, or did the agency pitch for you? Yeah. So that's problem number one. If you don't have the opportunity to talk with them directly yourself, the likelihood that that's going to work out in your favor is like very low. Secondarily, like did you say it's $2,500 for 3 months or $2,500 per month for 3 months?
No, that's for 3 months, because the guarantee is 30%. So 15% is just for 1 month of service, while 30% increase is for 90 days, right? So we guarantee them to see a 30% increase in their email revenue in 90 days. So that's why he gets 3 months of service.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. $2,500 for 3 months of service, like for emails, is incredible. Like that's very low. And I only say that to say that if somebody's saying like the pricing doesn't work for them or something else, like it's certainly not the pricing that it is. It's whatever inherent value they feel you do or do not deliver inside of that service. And so what my assumption is, because this is the first time we've ever talked, I don't know the brand, I don't know the agency, but what happened is when that agency talked to that client, they just go, hey, I know the guy who did this email, and it's whatever $2,500 for 3 months. and they just go, okay, well, we'll think about it and let you know, or hey, we don't really want to pay that much, because there was no real value established inside of that conversation. And so the only way that you're going to close that sale is, number one, you got to go talk to the brand yourself. Like, you got to go to that agency and go, hey, like, I understand that that's your client. Would you feel comfortable with, or would you be opposed to me having a conversation with them? Because obviously these emails are only going to be helpful for your ad campaigns, because the more sales that you get through email, the more impactful those ad campaigns are going to be. So would you be, opposed to doing that? And so then get the brand on the phone and then just cut to the chase and go like, you're telling me that what I heard was that you felt the $2,500 for 3 months of service was like, not fair or whatever. Can you just kind of help me understand what your perspective is?
Yeah.
Say what it is. And you just got to go back to the ROI, right? Like, you just have to drive back into, okay, how many people are on your email list? How much current sales do you get from email? Here's past results that I've gotten for other clients. If I was able to do half of what I did for my other clients for you, that would increase your revenue by X%. And so, me asking for $2,500 for that is, fucking pennies, right? And so you've just got to get on the phone with that brand, and then you've got to go super heavy on the ROI conversation if they're stuck on price. And then last thing I would say on this topic is the guarantee itself is not going to help you close the deal unless they already see value in you and trust who you are. Guarantees aren't what make people trust things. Like, it's inherent, like, understanding of you and your process, seeing the results that you've gotten before, and then like knowing the ROI that can come on the other side of that. And so you can work on your guarantee all day, but that's not what's going to close the sale. Guarantees are really good if somebody's right there on the fence and they really want to do it, but they're just like a little bit hesitant. You go, hey, by the way, if it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back, whatever. But that shouldn't be the main point of your offer. And I think one of the main things that people are messing up in the market today, because everybody read $100 Million Offers, which is a fucking phenomenal book, don't get me wrong. Everybody read that, and now every single ad for an agency ever says, we're doing this, or it's free. We do this, we work to, it'll work, or we'll work for free, or we're going to give you your money back, or whatever. But guarantees don't close deals. Like, trust in you and a good ROI driven offer is what closes the deal. Guarantees can help for those people who are right there on the fence, because I never offered a single guarantee for all of the agency ever. I don't do fucking guarantees, and we did just fine without them. Not saying they're bad. Risk aversion is an awesome thing if you can kind of get people away from that, like needing to figure out a way to get their risk down. But ultimately, yeah, man, I think that it's just got to be a conversation between you and that agent, you and that brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll definitely do that.
Cool. Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Who's next? Leonardo, you got a question? The revenues, you got a question? I need some of the revenues.
Hey, Alex.
What's up?
Hey, all good. So, I'm not in my office right now, so I really am sorry. I can't be on the camera right now.
It's all good. No worries.
Yeah, we're going to go next time for sure. So,
Yeah.
Alex, I've been following you since 2019, and
I appreciate it.
It's so good to see you here finally. Like, I literally followed you when you had 7,000 followers, and now you're like, you have your agency. That's crazy. So, we kind of do this social media marketing as well. We kind of, help personal brands and, many other pages and brands grow on social media. And we offer a lot of services like content creation, website designing. So to be very honest, I've had clients coming on my pages since I have few followings already. And I did not really have trouble doing that. Like, it's good to have some clients and all that. But the main reason that I'm here on this, call with you is because I'm not really getting a lot of high ticket clients. So I just want to know, like, how do you think is the best way to get to high ticket clients? Is it through only Instagram outreach, or do you follow other ways like Google stuff? And because I have a sales guy who does all these calls. He takes 100 calls and all that. But what do you think is the best way for the outreach in terms of getting high ticket clients?
Yeah, for sure. Let me ask real quick. What do you currently charge?
So basically, we have a package of $1,000 to $10,000.
Mm-hmm. It's 1,000 to 10,000. That's a pretty big it's a pretty big spread. So what?
So it's $1,000 to $5,000 to $10,000. So we have 3 packages like that, and I'm mostly closing between $1,000 to $3,000, mostly, like that.
Okay. So when you pitch your services, and I'm going to talk about outreach, but I want to talk about sales process first. When you pitch your services to these potential clients, do you go like, hey, we have a $1,000 option, a $5,000 option, a $10,000 option? Do you like do it kind of like that, or do you just say, hey, based on what you told me, you need this, and give them one option?
So usually we outreach and I look at their pages and stuff, and I feel like they do not have a profile in terms of they do not have a website, or they're not running any ads, or their profile is not really optimized. So we show them, hey, we have worked for these clients, and if you're interested, we can do the same thing for you, like that. So they go forward, they look for more, results and proof work for before. And yeah, it's mostly mostly people who are, only people with $1,000 to $3,000 are able to, go forward. I am just not reaching to that, $10,000 or
Yeah.
above.
So again, I'm asking because I want to make sure I understand. So this is all happening inside of DMs, or is this happening on like a phone call?
On DMs and on calls, like
Okay.
Zoom.
So what I would say for a couple things here is like, I'm still not 100% clear on the sales process on this side, but I want to make sure that like the way that you're doing DM outreach is like, you're not talking about pricing. You're not talking about services necessarily. You're not doing all that stuff inside of DMs. Like the only point of the DM is just to get them on a call. And then once you get on the call to help increase the number of people who do the higher ticket stuff, your process through the call, and I'll have some stuff in the group on this at some point. I don't know when, just depends on when I get it all put together. But you should be doing a discovery process to like understand, what their goals are, what their problems are, like what their pain points, all these kind of things that are just, you can find 1,000 discovery scripts online. You should be doing that. And then based on what they tell you, based on what the goals are or whatever, then you should just recommend one option, right? Like if you talk to a brand who looks like, they could do well with whatever service that you're offering, then you should pitch the higher end, pitch the one that's 10K. And if they can't afford it, well, you can go, okay, cool. Well, maybe you can start with our 5K one or our $2,500 one or whatever. And so I'd say inside the sales process, make sure you're pitching pitch the highest one and then come down as opposed to the other way around, or giving them options. And then secondarily, as far as outreach goes, like I did for the first year-ish of the agency, it was all DMs, but then after that, it was all paid ads. So like everything that we did for higher ticket clients was through paid ads, because most of the stuff that I was closing on DMs was like 3 to 7K somewhere in there. But it wasn't until we started running a paid ads funnel that we started getting to that like 10, 12, 15K a month type stuff. So that's much more of like an attraction method as opposed to an outreach method. And typically the people that respond to that are usually a lot hotter because they're actively looking for whatever it is that you sell. So you'll probably have a better bet with that as it is, but I think that you should be able to close higher ticket deals from the current outreach that you're already doing if your sales process is aligned in such a way that you do good discovery and then present them with the solution, which is your highest ticket package. And then if they can't afford that or they push back super heavy on it, then you can drop down and go, cool, well, maybe let's start you off with this. And if this goes well, after a couple of months, we can talk about like leveling you up there or whatever, right? That's probably how I would approach it based on what I understand from your question, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I have one last question if you are okay with it.
Yeah, all ears.
So I was just wanting, I wanted to know, like, I thought you said you're offering mentorship. Could you please let me know, like, what are you planning to launch something like that, and like see like all the offers you're gonna add on it?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking. I said, and I'm gonna stick with it, that the point of this is not for me to sell my stuff. So I'm not gonna go through like a whole sales pitch or whatever on this side. I have a program that I just launched that is full now. All 3 spots have been filled up. That it's about how to like land and get more enterprise clients. And so it's a 12-week program. And so that's full. So I'll have another one that launches for that. I think it'll be end of January because it'll kick off October 28th. So 12 weeks. Yeah. So about end of January, we'll have that. And then likely, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying like you're gonna launch it, or you're like it's already there in your community right now.
Yeah, so I have that one is like in progress and full, and so I made a commitment that I'm only gonna do 3 people for this first one, so I'm not gonna go back on that. But then come the start of the new year, I have been putting together a more of a consulting package that's gonna be a monthly thing. And so if you look at the school group, there should be some links to an additional group that I have. That is not currently open, but it will be in 2025 for like monthly mentorship, consulting, whatever you want to call it. And so if that's something that you're interested in, it's not something that I can do right now just because I've already made my commitments and I'm not going back on those. But come January, I would be super happy to help.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Byron, what's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? What you got back there? You got to watch some people whoop ass back there, man?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I try to ignore it. Try to
No,
turn
it's
it
all
away.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Yeah.
What's up, man? I see you ripping them new ads.
Yeah, I mean, taking all of your advice and trying to implement it. So it's going
See what
pretty well.
happens. I guess you can find out if I'm full of shit or not. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
Cool, man. I know you said you had some questions, so happy to help.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to take a look at my KPIs for ads and kind of see what I need to do based off of those. Maybe I need to launch another hook, maybe a new ad. But yeah.
Okay. Let's hear them.
Let's see. I'll share my screen.
Perfect. I appreciate your transparency and being willing to share your screen here.
Oh yeah, no problem. So I've only spent 65 so far.
Okay. So we're going to take all of this with a grain of salt because we're only, $65 into ad spend here. So my main recommendation before anything else is like, let this spend several $100s before we make any changes.
Okay.
But that being said, yeah, I mean, the data is going to be so new that just from a KPI standpoint, I don't like 0.8 CTR outbound is pretty low. A cost per click for $9 is really high. But again, you just started running this. And so Facebook could easily figure this out for you here in the next week or so. What are you spending per day?
30.
30
I
bucks.
should probably
Yeah.
pick that up.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get through the testing faster, certainly the more you spend, the quicker that'll happen. But no, no need to push it if you don't feel comfortable with it. It's just like however soon you want to learn this stuff. Can you show me how many total impressions have come from this?
Yeah, let me actually.
Okay, so 8,000 impressions is what Facebook says that you need to get to before you can make any sort of real decisions and have enough data on the ad. So you need about 7,200 more impressions, and then we can make this. So I would assume by this time next week, you probably will be there and we can get some like real nitty gritty on this. I think that would be fun. Secondarily though, I already agree with what you said earlier, and I think that you should try a couple of hooks. The video, that main ATD ad that I had sent you before, we did 6 different hooks on it, and the one that's actually that I showed you is one of the ones that performed lower. What we ended up doing is just that whole like, did you know that Facebook or whatever creative thing, we just cut that off, and it just started with the ad creative is king, and that was the highest performing one. So I would and all that to say, like, the hook is the most important part of any ad, obviously. And most people really don't even get past that. So I would try a couple different ones for that. But keep all the rest of it the same. Just switch up that first introductory point a couple different ways and see how that works. So that would be a big thing that I think you could do pretty quickly. And I would launch those in that same campaign and let them all run next to each other and see what happens.
Okay, so it would be within this ad set right here?
Yeah, I put them all in the same. I would take those 3 audiences and then put all the ad creatives in each side of those audiences.
Okay.
Yes. That's what I would do. And then you had said something about I like your landing page, by the way. It looked a little familiar, but hey, I thought it was fire.
I appreciate it.
So what were you saying about that? You had DM'd me something about that yesterday. What were you saying about that?
Yeah, so what kind of KPI should I be looking for in regards to like the landing page?
On the landing page itself, like really the main thing
as far as people actually reaching out and put their information in.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like a 2 to 4% conversion rate on the opt-in. If I'm getting that side, I'm pretty happy about it. On the ad side, what you want to look for is I'm looking for typically about a 2% click-through, like outbound click-through rate, and I'm really hoping for a 25% plus hook rate. And so if I know that 1 out of 4 people are watching the first 3 seconds and 2% of those people are clicking through, Then if 2 to 4% are converting
Mhm.
on the landing page itself, then you've got a pretty good funnel working, and your lead cost will probably, just in full
Yeah.
transparency, your lead cost will probably be 50, 100, 150 bucks. But as long as you're getting half those people to book calls, and your sales process is good and you're closing 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, the math will work out really well, especially at your price point.
Mhm.
So that's what I would look for on that side, if that makes sense.
Okay. So essentially what you're saying is I should be looking to spend upwards of $150 in order to get a lead coming through the landing page before.
I would say look for
Okay.
under 150, but our CPA for clients on a 10K package was about 1,500 bucks, right? And so
Yeah.
we would get about half I would close about 1 out of 3, and then I would get
Mhm.
about half the people who opted in to book a call. And so if you do the math on that, the lead cost was like $150 to $200, which a lot of people go is like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay $200 for a lead? But it's like, well, shit, if 1 out of 10 of those leads closes, even if it's $2,000 and you're charging 7, 8, 10K a month, that's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I fucking do that all day. And so, I mean, as long as the quality is good, which is obviously the most important thing here. And I think that's where, just on a side note, kind of tangent here, a lot of people in marketing are always like, hey, I want to get leads as cheap as I possibly can. Yeah, me fucking too. But the point of an agency is not to get cheap leads. The point is to like close fucking deals and get clients. And so,
Yeah.
I don't care how much a lead costs as long as the quality is good. I'd way rather pay 10 times as much for a good lead than 10% of it for a whole bunch of shitty leads, because you can't do nothing without
Yeah.
high ticket prices. So that's my thought
Mhm.
process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex,
What up, bro?
at what point do you think we should like start running ads? Because I am at a point where I have 4 clients.
Mhm.
Still kind of like trying to figure out how things. I'm thinking I'm gonna hire someone soon into the team.
Okay.
But at what point do you think we should start like running ads for our agency?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, man, it's up to you and what you want to do, right? Like, Griff, I'm gonna mute you real quick.
Yeah.
No, you're good, bro. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to do, right? You got 4 clients. Like, it depends. Like, are you trying to get to 10 clients or 20 clients or 50 clients or whatever? Or no, I'll just keep going. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do, man. Like, how quickly you want to get clients, right? And like how much you want to charge and whatever else. And also, it depends. Like, is your offer? You've got 4 clients total. Like, so you've sold the service 4 times.
Oh, wait 1 second. So I have 2 on the intro offer that I told you before.
Yeah.
And 2 others on the main recurring service.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say that like until you sell this thing 10 times, until you've gotten at least 10 sales through, like I would not consider your offer proven enough that you want to put money into paid ads. And I would continue cold email, DMs, whatever that's free outreach on that side until you at least hit that number. And that's just purely to prove that the offer sells. Secondarily, like at your price point currently, it is going to be very difficult for you to be super profitable on paid ads. You're gonna have to charge more. Like we were charging like $4,000 just for email flows build. So like welcome, post-purchase retargeting, and an abandoned cart, like $4K for that, and $3K per month just for like email, $2,500 to $3K per month for email like management, right? So like marketing campaigns, whatever, 2 or 3 times a week type thing. So you will need higher price points on that side. So if I'm in your shoes, I know this wasn't your question, I wouldn't be super worried about like going on ads right now. And I know that you're just asking like when. Right now, I wouldn't. If I was you, I would focus on like, let me get at least 10 clients in here. Let me charge more on each one of those. You've already proven somebody will buy at $1,000. 2 people bought at $1,000 for the flow build. So next time you get on a call, just offer 2,000 and see what happens, right? And so keep trying to up those price points and use some free outreach for now. And so that way you can just put good cash in your pocket and not have to like try to figure out the whole ad machine right now. Once you're at a place where you're like, I feel like I've really maxed out what I can charge per client and I've got, a good system, offers proven, all these kind of things, then I'd say like, let's talk about advertising. But until then, I think that that's just going to throw a wrench in it's just going to throw complications that I don't think aren't necessarily necessary. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I was already thinking about like, increasing my prices. But I guess before this, I kind of like have that fear of charging people too much money for what I'm worth, right? But I'm trying to get over this, and yeah, I'll see how it
Yeah, I
goes.
mean, just transparently, as somebody who dealt with that myself, like even to this day, like for this program that I'm doing right now, like I know the value that it's going to be significantly more than what I'm charging, but I'm still nervous about it because I don't know. I grew up with, I have problems as a kid or whatever, and had weird stuff that my therapist wife would tell me I need to work through. But that's not necessarily something that's going to change overnight. The only way that that's going to change is you just got to fucking offer it and go like, yes, I'm worried. Yes, I'm nervous. Yes, I got anxiety. Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. Worst they can say is no. And then you just come down on the price anyway and go, hey, well, what if I knock off $500 and we just keep that started for the first month to see if this is something that might be worth it for you. So I think that your nervousness probably won't go away, and you shouldn't expect it to. Just fucking ask it and see what happens, man. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've seen the benchmarks in terms of, pricing in the email marketing space. It's kind of like my pricing are quite low, to be honest. But
Agreed.
I presumed I priced it so low at the beginning just to get things running and just to get some clients.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the beginning you should price low, get people in, see if you can deliver the service, and if you can, then go, okay, cool, I've got something here. Now let's work our way up. Like, my first retainer was like fucking $2,500 for 1 month of Facebook ads. And so it's like, okay, and then over time we slowly grew that, and that was like 2019. So, yeah, man, you can do it.
Oh,
Just gotta,
I appreciate it.
yeah, brother, you got it. No worries. All right. Griffin, what's up, man? You got questions? Or Leonardo, he unmuted. What's up, man? Griffin, I'm sorry. We have to come back to you, brother.
No,
All right. What's up, man?
Okay, do you remember I am the guy that told you about the gambling picture?
Yes.
You remember?
I have a picture on my Instagram profile of my fiance sitting at a blackjack table or in front of a slot machine, and Leonardo pointed out, which is actually a pretty good thing, and I appreciate it. So for context for everyone, yes.
Okay, so it's a good thing that you remember. And yeah, so basically I'm running this thing. I have 2 clients right now, and basically they're it's really niche down B2B offer. Okay, and really high ticket. So one is 10K and one is 15. Okay. And basically what I'm doing for them is building the funnels. So landing page, VSL, the testimonials, and doing the public launch. So with Instagram, if they have YouTube, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff, and also managing setters. So that's my main offer. I don't know if you heard about growth operating. It's basically that thing. Okay.
Sure.
And I just want to reposition myself because I feel like I'm into some mentorships and they all do the same thing. I just want to differentiate myself. So
yes,
basically it's something that I want to grow into an agency and not one person business. And of course, right now I'm in Italy. I live in Italy, and I'm under 18. Okay. So I'm under 18, so
Texas.
I cannot
I got a country
hire
one.
people. And just develop. I wouldn't say an agency right now, but position myself in a way that I can offer only funnels, setters, placement, and basically public launch. Because everybody's doing the same thing, so I just want to differentiate myself.
Yes. No, it's a super fair question. I get the same DM that I got from you 4 times a day from different people doing the same thing. So you're 100% accurate. What I would say for you is if you go into the school community that I have in the, it's oh, hey, what's up, man? In the Enterprise Client Academy Lite, there's a whole section on offers that's all free. There's going to be a craft your ECP statements section that I would highly recommend that you go through. It's all about differentiating yourself and building statements that make you sound different than everybody else, niching down and how to do that process. And so I'd recommend that you go through that. It's all free, whatever. So take a look at that stuff. But probably the easiest and quickest way to niche down the quickest way to differentiate yourself is to niche down into a specific type of business but don't do coaches and agencies and consultants and whatever else, because I guarantee that everybody that is doing this offer is doing it for coaches and agencies and consultants, because I get that shit 10 times a day, whatever. And so I would look for businesses, and I would actually have inside of the in the thing, I have some ChatGPT prompts that you can use and just plug in. It'll help you kind of figure out like what to do with that stuff. So that should be super helpful for you. So I would go through that first and foremost. On the differentiating yourself side, I think that's going to be really big for you, and that'll be way more impactful than like going through this whole thing right now. So take some time. The videos are like fucking 15, 20 minutes, super easy. So take a look at that inside the school community. And then secondarily, were you asking about like how to go from kind of like one person shop into like growing a full agency, or like what was the second part of that question?
No,
Just help me
like
remember.
the question was just once how to pack like my skills into like some sort of like agency offer. So it was just one question.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say like pick a specific business that you're going to work with, like a niche or whatever else, and make it something different than what everyone else is doing, because everyone else is selling the same offer, which is I will do your funnels and DSL and all these kind of things. And they're all doing it for coaches, agencies, and consultants, which doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Like the reason everyone's doing that is because obviously it can work. I would just say that if you can find a different place to put that energy, you'll have more success and results because there's far less competition on that side. So go through that section in the course. Again, all free. And I think that will be very helpful. If you go through that and then come back next Thursday and we can talk through a little bit more about it once you've got some more context on that side, I think we can really dial it in.
And what, like right now I'm targeting like B2B offers. So like kind of specific, I'm working with a guy that's providing fundings to people.
Okay, cool.
Like to start small business, and one that's like doing Airbnb arbitrage, but
Nice.
not for like normal people, but it's like for realtors that already have like real estate. Okay. So it's not like a very broad niche, so I almost struggle to find leads as well. But who do you think that I should target the most?
Yeah, I like I would say part of it depends on like what your interests are. Like, what are you interested in? Like, what do you want to learn about? Because if you just you're like, whatever the fuck's going to make me money, which is fair. Like I hear that and I totally like feel that. I would also say that if there is a particular type of thing that you find to be interesting, your willingness to spend a lot more time to understand that market and understand the customers and understand their pain points and all these different things, you'll spend a lot more time doing that. And so I like things that this is also in their in the ChatGPT prompts inside of that section of the course. There's something about finding like addressable market size. And so I would use that and then try a different couple things. Like I think the like financial side is pretty good on this. So like funding, credit, business loans, that kind of stuff. There's tons of people who do that. So I think that's super interesting. And then I would also say in more like professional service-based businesses, I know there's a way that you can kind of get that stuff in there. So, you know, law firms, accounting services, like those type of things. I think that you could find some good stuff in there too. So yeah, I would just say go through that section of the course, run through it, and then take some notes. There's a whole worksheet that I have in there too, so you can just fill all that stuff out. Run through that, come back next week, and let's run through a couple more specific things on that side.
Okay, I've worked with also like a tax advisor.
I'm sorry, say it again.
With a tax advisor and a business coach.
Yes.
So that's like main business, and they target people who have money, so it's like way easier to charge high prices. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, then I would say you've already kind of got something going in that financial realm. So like, probably run with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Happy to help. All right, Griffin, what's up, bro?
What's up? Enjoyed a lot of these questions. I think I had a question come up. I'm thinking about scaling up towards group practice owners. I just got off a call with one who built a big group practice in Austin. I charge like basically $20K for the year. It's like $3,500 up front plus $1,500 a month. And we really just get them from our normal ads right now, which is working. People come in because they want more cash pay clients. 10% of them are group practice owners. We end up, getting 2 or 3 a month, these bigger ticket. But I kind of want to focus on that. I'm thinking about, I've kind of got the advice, build another funnel, and scale that up. But I've also thought about cold email. So I don't know. What would you do to think about attracting those higher paying clients?
Yeah, go over the biggest thing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that you're already getting some from your ads for that. I think that makes a ton of sense because, like, you know, and just context for everybody, right? Griffin works with private pay therapists, right? Like people who are therapists who are looking to have their own private practice and want to scale that. As a person who is marrying one who came from a group practice and now a private practice client, I would say that's super smart to go after the group side of things because obviously, like, you can be much more impactful than trying to work one-on-one with these types of people. And so if you're already getting like some results from the ads, I would go through, because from what I've seen of your creative, because I actually get hit with your ads all the time, which thanks for that. I would it seems like it's all for like individual therapists, right? And so I would try to run some ads that position yourself like, we are the people that help explode group practices. And so right now I also get, because I see your ads, I also get hit with ads from other like people who do a similar service, and they're all going after like single individual therapists, right? And so I think the easiest way for you to like explode that out if you're already getting some is to then change your talking in Italian in the chat. That's pretty cool. So I would just use messaging that speaks directly to group practices, and then I would also go through. I don't know if you're like active on LinkedIn or whatever, but I think that's where you can just reach out to these group practice owners. Like that's what I would do, is I would just go directly to them and then also run ads on the backside, knowing that they're going to click on your, like they're going to, if you message them, they're going to click on your shit. They're going to go to your website. They're going to get on your pixel, and then you can just retarget. Yeah, 100%. So I would say add creative messaging and then direct reach outs if you're trying to go up market like that, because there's only so many group practices, obviously. So I would just do that.
Makes sense. Would I hire, I mean, it makes sense for me to do the LinkedIn outreach, or should I just like kind of train someone on the team to run that?
I would get a setter, or if you have a setter or an SDR or whatever, I would have them do it, because you have better things to do with your time. Just at the level that you're at, obviously. So I would do that. But I would do it all from your profile. Like I would build your profile as like the authority, because obviously you already have that. So but yeah, definitely an SDR. I ain't doing that shit all day.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck no. Kidding me? No, I mean, I did it for years. That's why I'm not fucking doing it again. But yeah, man, you know. Yeah, bro. That's it. You'll be at that $1 million a month here soon. Then you'll be shitting on me. I'll come ask you questions.
Yes, sir. You come to my group call. Just kidding.
Yeah, there we go. Hell yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I have another question. If you got to everybody.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Yes. So I sent you a DM yesterday about the opt-in, and I wanted to kind of get your opinion on having an opt-in versus, you know, just sending them straight to the question form. And then also another question I had is, do you think a VSL, like a short VSL, would make a difference with maybe getting more leads through?
I'm going to pull up I'm going to screen share your website.
Okay.
Okay. So you're talking about, I just want to make sure I understand. Your question is, should you have this opt-in before the like type form type thing, or like help me understand?
Yeah. So basically once they click the ad, there would be like a pop-up to get their information. So like their phone number as well as their email, so that I can call them and set them or anything like that, versus just like singing them straight to this page and then just having them fill this out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, certainly nothing wrong with adding a pop-up. That's just like for like the same kind of, like if you're going to do a pop-up, I would just make the pop-up have the same thing as this, because ultimately all you're doing is just ensuring that they actually see that there is a place that they could put their application in. And so like, I'm certainly not opposed to that at all. Also, I would add some more buttons on here that scroll down, like maybe like right here, a call to action that scrolls down here. Because right now, like the only way for them to get to it is they have to go all the way down. And so I would probably add a button on almost every other section, especially right here. Like, you know, and if you can make the copy kind of, you know, cute and clever, like make your brand look like this, and they click and it scrolls down there or whatever. Like that, I think would be super helpful. So I absolutely would add, the buttons, and you can do the pop-up. I didn't do the pop-up because pop-ups piss me off on websites. Like if
Yeah.
I'm ready to put my shit in, I'll put my shit in, and if I'm not going to put it in. And your pop up's
Yeah.
just going to X out. So the real truth of the answer is like you got to split test it and figure it out. I would
Yeah.
say that's probably near the bottom of like
Mhm.
the things that are going to make a huge difference for you.
Mhm.
And so I would, but I do think some additional CTA buttons would be helpful to get people to the bottom of the page quickly. So I would add some CTA buttons on there. If you're doing this and you're not getting any opt-ins for shit, which I think is unlikely, then maybe try an opt-in or like a pop-up with an opt-in. But yeah, that's what I think on that side.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll add those CTAs first and kind of run it through some impressions first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then from there.
And your second question was about a VSL?
Yeah, so I was speaking to another guy yesterday, and he was just reviewing everything, and he's like, you need to have like a VSL and then like a Calendly booking versus just having what you have here. And I was like, with e-commerce founders, they're more sophisticated and they've been around the
Fuck
block
yeah.
1,000 times.
Bro, I'm not watching your fucking VSL,
Yeah.
bro. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that. I'm busy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
no.
was like, I
Yeah.
can look at it, but I
think that, you know, I can't think of a time where having a video that explains your services and your value proposition would be harmful. I don't think it would hurt. I think it would be helpful. However, the point of your funnel should not be to try to get people to watch the VSL. The VSL should be supplementary and add on to this page. Like I put the video to go, hey, if you want to learn more about our services, watch this quick video that they can watch at their choice if they want to. But if I see this and I go premium creative for driven brands, I kind of need that right now. I already know what I want. Don't make me watch a fucking 12-minute video to do that. Like I don't need that, right? And so I just want to be able to scroll down. So I think if you want to put together a video, which also would be helpful, just like because you are a video agency and that will be good for that. I think that's good, but I wouldn't force people to watch it if they don't want to. But you've already got this right here, which looks familiar but really good. This is fire.
love it.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that you explain the value prop and what you do pretty quickly and pretty easily with this. And so people understand. So I don't think you need it, but it wouldn't hurt. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I've seen VSLs that are poorly done and they do hurt your conversion. So I'd do that. And then I did see on your homepage when I was looking yesterday, I'd put I would put that opt-in on the bottom of every page.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's just what we had. So yep. I think that would look good. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Hell yeah. Anything else I can help with?
Nobody's going to have one more.
Hey, come on, bro.
Yeah. Did anybody have anything? I didn't want to take up a lot of time, but
I mean, I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
So basically, right now, I'm trying to figure out like what to double down in terms of my outbound structures. I've seen good results on YouTube. To be fair, I've booked like 2 meetings in the last month. Quite good, to be honest, though. And also from emails, even though I'm sending quite like few emails, I'm sending 950 a day. I booked around like 4 in the last month. So I'm trying to figure out what to focus, what to pay like my attention on in this month, because I'm trying to use the Black Friday, Cyber Monday angle also on my cold email scripts as well. I'm trying to figure out what to give all of my attention to in terms of outbound, and what should I like double down.
Yeah, no, I mean, super fair question. Yeah, so you're saying, I think I heard this, I want to make sure. You said that the quality of the YouTube leads that you got were much higher than the quality of the cold email, or are they about the same? Like, talking about quality-wise.
So talking about quality-wise, I think content-wise, it was like the leads by the YouTube are quite good, because they already know who I am. They already consume my content, so they're kind of like, I would say, more warm than the cold ones, than the cold email ones. So I think they're more easy to sell to, if I can say that. but yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's super fair. What I would do is I would like so cold email has not been like my main thing ever. I've done a decent amount of it, but I'm not like a huge cold email guy. There's a guy I'm friends with. He's here in Dallas. His name's Nick Abraham. Look him up on Twitter. He's got a ton of great shit on just
no,
like
I know.
scripting and how to do that. Okay, awesome, perfect. So
Yeah.
he's got great, yeah, dude. Nick's awesome. So scripting on there is really good. If you're already using some of it, that's awesome. I would let the cold email run as I would set up the cold email machine, let it run as a machine, and then while make YouTube content. Like I wouldn't do like at the current
Oh.
stage that you're at. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do either or on that side because cold email is just something you can set up and kind of just let run
Yeah.
as opposed to something that you're having like if you're doing Instagram DM outreach, like that's actual manual work you have to do all day versus
I forgot
whatever,
something to
so.
say. I also do prospecting on LinkedIn as well, on my overall outbound structure. So I'll say in a day I spend 60 minutes, going through. I have like a spreadsheet where I go to, the potential client list that I have a potential client list. I have also kind of like what I called a dream client list. So this is maybe clients
Yep.
that I would never sign, but I think like I follow people in the company, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with the law of familiarity. So more people know
Sure.
who you are, the more they're gonna talk about you, and the more they're gonna talk about your service, and the more
Sure.
the higher ups are gonna know about you. So I'm trying to do that, but yeah, I'm also prospecting and just gonna see how that goes. It's kind of like a long-term strategy if you think about it, because it's not like I'm pitching them in the DMs. I'm just trying to, make some connections
Yeah.
here and there and try to,
Yeah.
use my
If the goal
content.
if the goal is immediate meetings, then I would say YouTube content plus cold email. Like if the goal is I'm trying to get people on the phone as quickly as I can, and then if you want to throw in an hour a day of just like LinkedIn connections and outreach and whatever, just to make connections and kind of establish yourself as a thought leader in the email space, I think that's great too.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know everything about your life or whatever, but if you've got the time to do it, I would spend, an hour a day doing some LinkedIn stuff and it'd be good. Let the cold email machine run and then make great
Yeah.
email content on YouTube because that's going to be the thing. Because what happens when you send your cold email is somebody's going to see this and go, "Who the hell is this guy?" And they're going to click. And if you got, if they can find you on YouTube, then they're going to watch your videos, and that's great, right? So, yeah,
Good, quite good. Thank you.
hell yeah. Byron, what's up, man?
Yeah. So one last question. Promise.
It's okay if you got another one after. It's fine. I got a little time.
Yeah. For context, we are going to do the Black Friday offer, but we
yeah.
don't offer lenders or email flows or anything like that, at least right now. So I would like for you, if you don't mind, to take a look at the script, the ad script that we have, and
Yes.
kind of just get some feedback on that.
Yes. Can I give you a piece of advice before we look at the ad script?
Yeah.
Launch it to your list and social, all the people that you have currently. Also launch it to any client that you've ever worked with before. Go directly to them. That's going to be your quickest way to get it before like ads and whatever else. So there's another guy I work with. His name's Brandon. He has a content agency out of Austin or out of Atlanta. If you're familiar with him, Brandon Dixon, super great guy. But I told him to do the same thing. He just does video. Like it's not all this other stuff. And so he did it and got 3 people at $7,500 for the video thing just by going list and social. So I would say do that first. Run it to every person that you've ever talked to in the history of your company and see if that's something that they're interested in. Also, like your window is closing on getting that stuff ready in time, especially with the time it takes to get a video. So like I'd get on that shit like ASAP. I would just pick up the phone and call them. And yeah, so I start with that. But then yes, let's look at this ad script after.
Okay. So are you saying to just do that first and then come to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would actually say that like you are probably almost out of time on running ads for this.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to take 3-4 weeks for you to get all the video content together or whatever, and like that's basically when Black Friday starts. So you'd have to like be closing them within the next week, which is if you're running a top of funnel campaign, like you still got to build some trust and build some authority in the space. So I would go immediately to your list. of list and social, anybody you've ever talked to, past clients, whatever, put them on there, give them a discount, especially in your current clients that you're working with. Like I would just say, hey, this is a $15,000 package, but since you're our client, we'll do it for $7,500, and just see if they want to hop on that. And so that's probably the quickest way to boost your sales in the month of October as an agency for sure.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yep. Hell yeah. Cool. All right. Coming up on 3 o'clock CST. So anything else before we head out?
That's all on my
Cool.
end.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody joining. This means the world to me. You have no idea. So thank you very much for your time, your attention. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Happy to help.
Cool. Appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all. Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Bye bye.